Well, I guess related to that, the other thing that really emerged in 2020 was TikTok as um, a very like a vector for political communication, both like from politicians externally, but more predominantly like people spreading political messaging and sort of fostering information ecosystems. Um, how are you feeling in terms of like when you bring up sort of progress? How are you feeling? You know, we're heading into another election year, and TikTok is as strong as as it ever was, and there's more kind of vehicles for video based messaging. Like, I don't know, what's your finger to the wind feeling about this coming year?
Well, TikTok has always been just such a really important platform for activism and activists, and especially youth activism. Like young sort of people that want social change have leveraged TikTok very effectively. And I think that's why you see all these Republicans embracing it. Vivek, whatever his name is, who's running for,
Ramaswamy, yeah.
yeah, like, he's out with Jake Paul on TikTok the other day. Like, so I think, I think it's just going to play a bigger and bigger role in our political system because it's the default social network for millions of young people.
Mm.
And it's sort of like, I always describe TikTok as a combination of sort of Twitter and YouTube, where there is all this like academia and like political discussion and actually a lot of smart people and journalists and stuff. Well, actually not as many journalists as Twitter, but like there's enough like media on there. And then, and so it's sort of like, and then also with YouTube culture, where it's like, it's very video based. It's very like commentary culture is really huge on TikTok. So I think it's just going to play a bigger role in our election cycles. And
Mm.
not the platform itself. Actually, I shouldn't say the platform itself. The platform itself, people like to think that it's like being programmed by China or something. It's not, or there's absolutely no evidence of that. I just mean that people leveraging the platform, activists and people leveraging the platform to get the word out about whatever they're trying to talk about.
Mm. So this is not in the book, but just to kind of piggyback off that question, because I've seen you speak about this elsewhere, and I'd love to kind of discuss it with you a little bit. There's a lot of like geopolitical positioning around TikTok in particular. What do you make of that relative to the sort of Western tech giants?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hilarious to listen to these people talk about TikTok as if it's the greatest threat when we have Facebook here in our own country. Like they're worried that TikTok could potentially, disrupt an election when we have actual evidence that Facebook has done that many times. Many, many times. They're worried that TikTok could lead people to violence when we have so many examples of Facebook facilitating genocide in other countries. Like it's like all of the stuff that they're accusing that TikTok might do that there's no evidence TikTok has actually done or, facilitated. We have so many examples of Facebook actually doing those things and actually facilitating those things. So it's just like, oh, but it's fine because it's America. Also, by the way, the whole data privacy thing is such a farce. If they cared about data privacy, they would pass comprehensive data privacy reform. But if you shut down TikTok tomorrow, one, there's still so many other Chinese apps and gaming, which is the bigger form of entertainment than anything else, is like half owned by Chinese companies. So I can't even get into that. But also, people could just China could buy our data from a third-party Facebook vendor. Like, we have no data privacy. So if you're actually caring about data privacy to the extent that you want to shut down an app, make such an unprecedented, decision, then you should actually pass a lot more comprehensive data privacy reform before anything like that ever even happens, But of course, they don't want to do that. They just want to make a political boogeyman. And it is this place for young progressive activism. And so that's why you see the Republicans and the right wing sort of parties want to shut it down, because it is a place where young people it's a place where young people congregate and push a lot of progressive ideology.